I'm Rob.
I'm Nate.
And welcome back to Rob and Nate Record a Podcast, our second homework episode.
I did my homework.
Yeah?
And my homework was the 1999 comedy Big Daddy,
Starring Adam Sandler.
which was directed by Dennis Dugan. Click on Dennis Dugan. Dennis Dugan is Adam Sandler's preferred director.
This is his actor credits. Let me get to his director. So he did do
Grown Ups 2, Jack and Jill, Grown Ups, Don't Mess with the Zohan, I Now Pronounce You, Chuck and Larry, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore.
Looks like that's all of the...
Of the Adam Sandler ones. I thought he did Billy Madison, but I guess he didn't do Billy Madison.
Doesn't look like it.
All right. But anyway, I know him. Go back up to the acting. Unidentified Flying Oddball.
Okay.
Also known as a spaceman in King Arthur's Court, which is a Disney movie that I remember seeing part of when I was a kid, and I eventually rewatched it about a year or two ago, and I can kind of see it. I can kind of see the Adam Sandler connection. I mean, it's a cheesy Disney movie. It's a movie that nobody remembers because Dennis Dugan didn't really take off as a comedy lead.
Where did you watch it?
I think it was on Disney Plus.
I might have to look that up.
So anyway, it just struck me that this is another Dennis Dugan film. But Big Daddy is a comedy starring Adam Sandler, Joey Lauren Adams, Jon Stewart, very young, Cole Sprouse, Dylan Sprouse, Joss Mastel, Leslie Mann, Rob Schneider, Christy Swanson, etc., etc.
Yep.
I was vaguely aware of this. I remember when it came out in '99. I remember seeing previews for it. I was very much above Adam Sandler in my high school days and thereafter. I don't think I went and saw The Waterboy with some friends, and I teased them for a long time afterward that they made me see The Waterboy.
You resent that to this day.
To this day, a little bit.
Yeah.
But in the words of a sporting character for The Waterboy, he can do it. Because I kind of like this movie, which surprised me. It is kind of high-end Adam Sandler. And I liked that
especially
it was...
Especially his 90s stuff.
Especially for... Yeah. And I liked how kind of unpretentious it was and how kind of simple it was. Like, it wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. It's just Adam Sandler is... He went to law school. He graduated law school, and then for some reason he just lost his drive, and he's living as a roommate with his friend from law school, played by Jon Stewart, and he's working one day a week as a toll booth operator on the Jersey Turnpike, and he's living off of money he got from a settlement from being hit by a cab, which is like $200,000, which he's very carefully investing, and he lives very cheaply because he lives with his friend. And like the big thing he does early in the film is they go to McDonald's for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing for him to do. And his friend and roommate, Jon Stewart, Kevin Garrity is the character name, has just gotten engaged to Leslie Mann's Corinne Maloney. And Kevin has to go to China for a big legal thing case he's working on, and so he's going to be gone for weeks and weeks and weeks. And just as he is he's at the airport, and Adam Sandler's Sonny Koufax gives him a call on their fancy late 90s cell phones and says, "Hey, there's a kid just got dropped off for you. There's a letter here. It says that, you're his father." He said, "Well, where's he from?" So, "Where are you from, kid?" Did he say Buffalo? He's like, "Buffalo? I don't know anybody from Buffalo. How old's the kid?" "How old are you, kid?" 5 years old. "I didn't know. That didn't happen." And later found out they didn't live in Buffalo when the kid was conceived. But the kid's mother has died of cancer. And she didn't know what to do with him. And it's like, well, he should be with his father. And so put this note and dropped him off, having looked up in the pre-Google days where he lived. And so Jon Stewart's like, "Well, maybe I should come back." She's like, No, I'll take care of it. We'll get with Child Protective Services. But he finds out that he kind of likes this kid. And his girlfriend, Sandler's girlfriend, Vanessa, played by Christy Swanson, who he's been with for 5+ years, is frustrated that he's just not doing anything with his life and is basically indicating that she's going to leave him. And it's like, I got to keep Vanessa. How am I going to keep Vanessa? It's like,
I got to prove I can be responsible
or
something like that.
Yeah. And so he decides to take this kid and say, "Oh, I adopted this kid," and he pretends to be Kevin Garrity to deal with the Child Protective Services and stuff.
And his person he deals with the Child Protective Services is Josh Mostel, whose character name is Arthur Brooks.
Who I guess is a semi-regular in some of these.
Some of them.
At least one of these other films. Because they kind of feel like... I feel like I was supposed to know who he was, like the way they kind of introduced him. Oh, it's that guy. So I don't know who this is. But anyway, he has the kid, and the kid changes him. And he at first he's kind of exploiting the kid, and he's completely refusing to discipline the kid, and he's doing all sorts of things he shouldn't do. He's letting him dress himself in all sorts of eccentric things and eat whatever he wants, and encourages him to pee on buildings because they have this instance where he has to pee, and this fancy restaurant won't let him in. Yeah, he jokes about the tiny bladder. And he ends up enrolling him in school, and he uses the kid to attract women after Vanessa breaks up with him for a much older gentleman. And he ends up running into Corinne's sister, Layla, at a park. And Sonny hates Corinne, or they have this frenemy kind of thing going, and he keeps returning to this joke about how she put herself through podiatry school working as a waitress at Hooters. And this is one of those things where they think that repetition is hilarious, and so he just keeps bringing up that this doctor used to work at Hooters and thinks like, oh, nothing tops that. It's like, I've got her number. And anyway,
it was probably funnier in the 90s.
It was probably funny in the 90s. But I liked the relationship between Sandler and the Sprouse twins, who play Julian Frankenstein McGrath, as he self-christens himself.
Yeah. And I liked the relationship between Adam Sandler, Sonny Koufax, and Joey Lauren Adams, Layla Maloney.
Yeah. When I was looking into this, Roger Ebert thought this was not a good movie, but liked her character. And she's kind of an interesting character. She's a little different, a little more complicated than you would usually see in a comedy like this. And the actress, Joey Lauren Adams, I haven't seen her in much of anything. She looks and sounds a great deal like Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
But she is she's likable in this. And I thought the supporting players, the two gay law school friends that went to law school together and then fell in love, they didn't go for the obvious jokes on that one, or at least not too bad on some of the obvious jokes. And I like Jon Stewart in it. He's not in it a lot.
Yeah.
But I liked him. I even liked Rob Schneider in this as the delivery man of uncertain ethnic origin. It had, and I know that Sandler keeps wanting to kind of recreate this sense of we're having fun on set, and that makes it into the movie. Like, these people are enjoying being with each other, and they're just kind of having a fun time making a very loose film. And I found it about as close to charming as I've ever found an Adam Sandler comedy.
No?
So part of me wanted to say, this is a good movie. I want to give this 3 stars. And then part of me like, no, I don't know if I'm comfortable giving an Adam Sandler comedy, especially Big Daddy, 3 stars, because I think part of it is it's looking good in comparison to other things. So I am going to give it 2.5 stars, and I'm going to give it 7 on the 10-star scale.
That's better than I thought it would get from you. Yeah, I figured this would probably end up in that like 6-star range for you, and the 2. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I picked this one because I thought of the 90s Adam Sandler's comedies, it was probably the one that would be most palatable to you. So it looks like I guessed correctly. Yeah, this also has Steve Buscemi in it.
Yes, as the homeless guy.
As the homeless guy, yeah. Box office numbers.
This did very well.
It had a budget of $34 million, which seems high for...
It does for what you see on screen, yeah.
It had a opening weekend of $41 million.
Wow.
And a worldwide gross of $234 million.
This was back in the Adam Sandler could do no wrong stage of the late 90s. A stage which would collapse in on itself the following year with a film called Little Nicky.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say about that other than you're right. I'm actually kind of curious now what the budget for that was, but I'm not going to look it up right now.
No.
I would say if you liked this one, I mean, obviously I have encouraged you numerous times to watch more Adam Sandler. You need to at some point see Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
I do. This is kind of the trinity of his 90s films.
Yeah. But then if you actually want him in a better film that's still a comedy, watch 50 First Dates. I think you'd like that one. I think you might actually give that one 3 stars.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Drew Barrymore, it helps elevate it, but yeah. And then he's made numerous movies similar to this for Netflix.
Yeah, he's doing cookie cutter
Even
stuff
some
for
with
Netflix.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
And they're okay. They're decent. I mean, he had the one where it's very similar plot to, not plot, but similar feel to like 50 First Dates, but with Jennifer Aniston, where they're both single parents. And then they did that other one where they're it's like a murder mystery on a boat. In fact, I think it's called Murder Mystery.
Murder mystery on a boat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed this one. Now you get some of the in-jokes, too. What's your name? How you doing? What's your name? He'll write it on the wall. Or Heap Up Anonymous. Yeah. These are word culturally relevant things. I probably used those lines on you many a time on the mission.
Yeah, they're just water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So, but as part of our
That
homework
mainstream
episodes,
joke is too obscure for me.
yeah. But as part of our homework episodes, now Nate has the pleasure of assigning me homework.
So I am going to be assigning something to you to fill in something we've talked about that you don't have a lot of experience with. It's a subgenre that I'm basically uninterested in, with a couple exceptions, the primary one being this director. This film is also on the IMDb Top 250 list. It is Hayao Miyazaki's 1988 classic, My Neighbor Totoro.
I'm actually excited for this. Yeah. I'm excited to watch this one.
Yes, and I am excited to hear you report back on it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. This will be a good one.
No,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm Rob,
I'm Nate.
and this is Rob and Nate Record a Podcast.
You know, there's actually, I could have done that on this episode, because there is a song in Walk Hard called Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah. It might have been tonally a little more appropriate in this movie,
No,
or in this recording.
we're looking for the late 70s.
Getting into the mid-70s now.
This is really not a great way to do this. Go up a little bit.
Or did I go to the wrong screen for you?
We're looking for the cast.
Huh?
We're looking for the cast.
Of Big Daddy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right here.
We're making sausage. Don't you like seeing how we make sausage? Doesn't it make for the most riveting of podcast listening?
Hey, I have learned to edit these pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of this will make the outtakes, but this one will not be in the episode.
So it'll be pristine.
Yeah.